Sometimes a diecast will sneak up on you and surprise you. Today's casting did exactly that to me. Don't go away. Hello everyone and welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. The casting for today's Three Blind Mice Invitational is the Hot Wheels Aston Martin 177. A beautiful car, without a doubt, but one that left me grasping at straws for an idea on what to do with it. For sure, this car left me scratching my head, but it did finally speak to me, and, well, you'll see. Well, here it is, today's casting, the 177, picked by Lee. It is, in fact, a stunning car. Not so much the way Mattel put it out, but it has so much innate beauty. Going into this, I will admit I have no idea of what I'm going to do with this, and that seems to be a recurring theme for me lately, something I have to shake off. I do want to do something worthy of a car like this, though. No matter, I'm going to press forward while tossing it around in my mind trying to come up with a good idea. As always, I'll start by taking the car apart. You know the routine, drill the post, pop the base off, blah 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 blah. The car has a plastic base, interior, and a glass piece. It's cool in that it only has one post and the front of the car is held in by the grille. The wheels are so ugly. I'll be glad to see those go. Now I'll prep the end of my post with my Vicks bit. This works so good, you have got to try this. Now a dab of oil on the post and I can drill it out. Another quick dab of oil and I can go ahead and tap out the post, and it is then ready for a small button-headed screw so I can put it all back together later. I've mentioned this before. I find that the right tires and wheels can often trigger ideas, and since I don't have any good ideas yet, I'll pull out my stash and start digging around and see what happens. I found a set I like, so I'll nip off the tabs that hold the old wheels in place and pop the old set out. I will throw those ugly son of a guns right in the trash. Anyhow, now I can set all of this aside and move back to the body. It's finally here, warm liquid goo time. Yes, indeed, our favorite part of the videos. We'll take this car and drop it down into the depths. I'm really in no big hurry here, so I just leave it in the goo until tomorrow. Some 24 hours or so later, I come back and I can pluck the car out and see if the citrus strip has done its job. It comes out great, nice and clean, so I'll just run it to the sink for a bath. With all the paint and the residual stripper gone, I can see I have a pretty decent casting. I'm not going to need to polish this, as I really have no plans at all at this point of using Spectraflame paint, so just a good brushing will suffice. The car is clean, it's dry, and so this is actually a perfect time for me to go ahead and test fit new wheels before painting it. That way, I'm not messing around with a freshly painted casting. This is also a bit of a delay tactic to help me kind of have some time to see if I can come up with a great idea for this car. Anyhow, the wheels fit really great as is, so I'm not really going to need to modify anything here. So I was speaking with fellow mouse Lee, and he said that this casting is a paint casting, meaning that it really just needs the right paint job and a possible wheel swap. It really isn't cut out for wild modifications, and honestly, he was very right. So I decided that I'm gonna just paint the car, but a car of this caliber needs a very special paint job. So, to that end, I will be doing a paint job that I have never tried before. At the paint booth, I'll begin by putting down some Tamiya Fine primer, let that dry, and now I can go with the first layer of this paint job. I look at it this way: if I botch this paint job, I should end up with just a really nice black paint job. If I nail the paint job, magic. For this first paint layer, I'm going to be using Tamiya X1 Gloss Black paint. I'll thin this with a bit more leveling thinner than normal because I need a super smooth surface here. Then I'll just thin it down the rest of the way with some standard X20. I need this layer to be glass smooth in as few a coat as possible because this is going to take several paint layers to get the effect I want, and I don't want so much paint that it kills all the details. I get to the wet coats as fast as possible. They go on beautifully, super smooth, very shiny, and I'm very happy so far. You know, part of me wants to just chicken out and call this done because the black is so perfect. And there is plenty of opportunity ahead for me to screw the pooch. So, yeah, I really want to chicken out, but I refuse to chicken out. The black paint is looking great, so I'm just going to give it a chance to dry. My idea here is a kind of a murdered out black paint job that has a secret. When seen in the right light, you'll see gold in the black depths of the paint. The rest of the time, it just looks black. Over the dry black, I'm going to apply 2 very light coats of gold plating from the Createx Auto Air lineup. These coats have to be very, very light, and you want a very dark gold color here. Now for the magical moment of truth. I'm going to apply 2 fine coats of Candy 2O Black. Who knew there was a Candy Black, right? Well, there is, and Createx makes it, and we're going to use it here. This really is the make or break point of this entire build. The paint job needs to come out looking black, and in fact, I really won't know if I nailed it until the clear goes on and I get it out in the light. Once the candy goes down, hopefully the car will just look all black. I test spray just a little bit to get the right feel of the airbrush and the paint so that these layers go down and they don't just obliterate the gold layer. Once I think I'm good to go, I hold my breath and I start putting the coats down. The car does indeed get to black, and now it's fully dry, so I can go ahead and put on some of my urethane clear coat that I got from Bright Vision. I love this stuff. Here I'm just going to lay the clear down like I always do. I'll start with tack coats, then medium coats, and then finally the wet coats. The paint job is supposed to be the star of this build, so I really need to focus here and get this right. So as I put down the tack coats, everything gets kind of flat looking and you can't see anything happening. I don't mind saying I'm a little nervous at this point, but there's nothing for it but to push forward. As the clear gets thicker and wetter looking, holy hell, it's working. It's working like a charm. This paint is coming out deep, wet, very black looking until the light hits it. And then the car explodes with magical gold highlights. I am so excited, I feel like a puppy with 2 Peters. I'm actually feeling like this may be one of the coolest paint jobs I've ever done on one of these castings. With everything looking good, I'll go ahead and set the car aside to dry, and I can busy myself by painting the interior. Mine was silver. Fail. So I have to do something with the interior. I'm going to paint it Tamiya gold, and then I'm going to add some brown details to give it some life. Normally, I would paint the taillights in with some silver, and then once dry, I would put clear red over that. But in this case, I want the taillights to look smoked out. So I paint the clear red right on top of the black body and call it good. All right, I'm very, very excited. It's time to pop it all back together. So I drop in the windshield, then the painted interior, put the base back on, and I can screw this all back up. Man, am I loving it. From a car I couldn't see at the beginning to a car that really, really surprised me. I hope you love it and were surprised as well. Well, there you have it, my Three Blind Mice Aston Martin 177. It went from a car that didn't say a word to me to one that now speaks volumes. I wanted a paint job that was the star, and I think I got one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a giant thumbs up, click subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell so that you never miss out on one of my videos. If you have any questions or comments, please, as always, leave them down below. I love to hear from you guys. It's time to go, but always remember, surprise is the greatest gift life has to give us. Until next time, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions saying be good.